Welcome back to Court Chronicles, ladies and gentlemen, your unfiltered, no-nonsense beacon in the chaotic storm of NBA coverage. Today, we're tearing the lid off a scandal so vile, so utterly disgraceful, it'll make your stomach churn and your fists clench. This isn't some cheap clickbait or a flimsy rumor whispered in the dark corners of the internet. This is raw, unadulterated truth. ESPN and their bloviating poster boy, Stephen A. Smith, hates Nikola Jokic with a passion that borders on obsession. Yes, you heard me right. The three-time MVP, the statistical juggernaut, the Serbian maestro who's single-handedly rewriting the rules of basketball, they're waging a war to bury him. Not just to discredit him in this era, but to sabotage his legacy for generations to come. We're talking about a targeted agenda, a venomous campaign, dripping with bias and dripping with hate. And why? We'll get there. But mark my words, this isn't speculation, this is a reckoning. Today we're exposing the numbers, the hypocrisy, and the sheer audacity of this travesty. So strap in, because we're about to unleash hell on the charlatans who dare to tarnish greatness. But before we rip into the culprits, let's rewind to a night that should have changed everything. A performance so colossal, it demands reverence, yet somehow got swept under the rug. April 1st, 2025, Nikola Jokic steps into the fire against the Minnesota Timberwolves and delivers a masterpiece that should have echoed through the ages. 61 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. A triple-double so earth-shattering, it's officially the highest-scoring triple-double in NBA history. Let that sink in. 61 points on 23 of 38 shooting, a Herculean effort in a double overtime nail-biter that ended 139 in a gut-wrenching loss for Denver. This wasn't just a game, it was a declaration of dominance. Jokic carried a Nuggets team teetering on the edge of collapse, playing every second after halftime like a man possessed. Down 6 in the first overtime. With 1:23 left, he calmly sinks a three-opener to slash the lead in half. Down 2 with 12 seconds ticking away, he isolates Anthony Edwards, the so-called clutch king, and leaves him grasping at air. And then in the final 11 seconds, Russell Westbrook, bless his reckless heart, snatches defeat from the jaws of victory. First, he botches a 2-on-1 layup with a 1-pin lead, then fouls Nickeil Alexander-Walker with 0.1 seconds left, handing Minnesota the win. Heartbreaking, devastating. But Jokic, he was a titan. 16 points in the fourth, 7 in the first OT, 5 in the second. This is the stuff of legends. And yet, ESPN treated it like a footnote in someone else's story. Oh, why isn't the basketball world bowing at Jokic's feet? Because Stephen A. Smith and his circus decided to hijack the narrative. Let's peel back the curtain on their shameless obsession. Enter Stephen A. Smith, ESPN's self-anointed face of the network, a man who struts around like he invented basketball itself. After Jokic's historic night, what does he do? He grabs the mic and launches into a drooling, teary-eyed love fest for Anthony Edwards. Listen to this garbage. I'm getting emotional right now. I want to get emotional right. Ant-Man is one of the greatest shows in basketball. It's Jordan-esque. Give me a break. Edwards was clutch, 13 points in the fourth on 4 of 6 shooting, 6 in the first OT on 3 of 5, 5 in the second OT on 2 of 3. Impressive, sure. But Jokic, he dropped 16 points in the fourth on 5 of 6, 7 in the first OT on 3 of 5, 5 in the second OT on 2 of 3, and that's after torching Minnesota for 33 points through 3 quarters on 8 of 15, while Edwards floundered with 10 points on a measly 3 of 8 of 5. So when you tell me 11, Jokic didn't just match Edwards in the clutch, he outshined him, outworked him, and outclassed him. all while dragging a depleted roster through 58 grueling minutes. And what does Stephen A. do? He waxes poetic about Edwards like he's Michael Jordan reincarnated, practically sobbing on air about how Ant-Man takes you there. Meanwhile, Jokic, 61-point triple-double, the greatest of its kind ever, gets a shrug and a sneer. This isn't analysis, folks. It's a one-man propaganda machine. Stephen A. so smitten, he probably went home, cracked open a pint of ice cream, and daydreamed about Edwards in his living room. It's not just bias, it's a betrayal of everything basketball stands for. But this isn't a one-off tantrum. This is a pattern, a calculated assault. Let's dive into the numbers and history that expose ESPN's war on Jokic for what it really is. Let's cut through the noise with cold, hard facts, because ESPN sure as hell won't touch them. Nikola Jokic is averaging 29.1 points, 12.8 rebounds, and 10.3 assists this season on a mind-blowing 65.9% true shooting. That's not just MVP caliber, it's historic. He's on track to join Oscar Robertson as the only player ever to average December 10th, 29 over a full season, and he's doing it with efficiency that leaves the league in the dust. Now, here's a stat to chew on. Only 3 players in NBA history have won MVP without being top 10 in scoring: Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, and Nikola Jokic. What do they have in common? They're not the poster-dunking, highlight reel darlings ESPN drools over. They're cerebral, unflashy geniuses who dominate through skill, not swagger. And Stephen A. Smith, he's voted for Jokic exactly once in the last 5 years, despite Jokic delivering 5 of the 7 highest single-season BPMs ever recorded. 5 of 7. This year, he's all in for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, crowning it's over unless SJ falls off the map. SJ's averaging 32.8 points, leading the league, and his Thunder are 11 games ahead of Denver in the standings. Fair enough. SJ's a beast. But Jokic is hauling a broken Nuggets roster through the mud, posting numbers no one else can touch, and Stephen A. still says, I don't want to hear it. This isn't about merit, it's an agenda, a vendetta. A deliberate attempt to erase Jokic's greatness from the conversation. And the proof? It's been 3 straight years of Stephen A. campaigning against him, openly, unapologetically, and with a smirk that screams contempt. But the players see through the smoke and mirrors. Let's hear what one of Stephen A.'s favorites had to say about Jokic after that epic showdown. Even Anthony Edwards, Stephen A's anointed Jordan-esque savior, can't deny the truth. After that game, with the sweat still dripping and the sting of victory fresh, Edwards stepped up and said it plain. Nikola Jokic, bro, oh my God. He might be the best basketball player I've ever seen close up. Let that sink in. The guy Stephen A. can't stop praising admitted Jokic is untouchable. We just hope he misses, Edwards said. Trapping him? He wasn't trapping. He's good. Hats off to him. This is a star player confessing there's no answer for Jokic. Not double teams, not schemes, nothing. And that clutch moment in the first OT, down 2 with 12 seconds left, Jokic isolates Edwards, the elite two-way player everyone fawns over, and scores like it's a practice drill. Edwards, he coughed up the ball in the second OT with 17 seconds left. On 1, a turnover that should have sealed it for Denver if not for Westbrook's meltdown. The players know the tape doesn't lie. Jokic isn't just great, he's a nightmare for anyone who steps in his path. So why does ESPN keep pretending he's invisible? Because this isn't about reality, it's about control. And Stephen A's latest rant after Jokic's historic night is the final straw that'll make your jaw drop. Other Jokic, the 61-point triple-double, shook the basketball world. Stephen A. Smith didn't miss a beat. He stormed onto ESPN and declared, SJA is the best player in the NBA right now. I don't want to hear about Jokic. 61 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, the greatest triple-double ever. And he brushes it off like it's nothing, even when Jay Williams, God bless him, stepped up and said, if LeBron or Steph did, ESPN would shut down for 3 days. How are we not leading every show with Nikola Jokic? Stephen A. just smirked and dropped this gem. Plenty of times Michael Jordan didn't win MVP, and we knew he was the best. Are you kidding me? He's putting Jokic in the same breath as Jordan, acknowledging his dominance and still trashing him. Jay didn't back down, though. He went full throttle. Jokic is outpacing Shaq. Kareem, he's the best big man ever. And he's right. Jokic has 5 top 7 PPM seasons, his 2023 finals run, his December 10th 29 stat line. They're rewriting the record books. But Stephen A. and ESPN, they'd rather fawn over Edwards' clutch buckets or SGA's scoring title than admit Jokic is the king of this era. This isn't journalism. It's a sham, a crumbling facade of credibility that's collapsing under the weight of its own hypocrisy. So what do we do about it? It's time to rise up, because Jokic's legacy isn't just at stake, it's under attack. Nikola Jokic isn't just a player. He's a revolution. 3 MVPs in 4 years, a championship in 2023, and stats that defy comprehension. He's not chasing history, he's making it. And yet ESPN's hell-bent on burying him, on turning his legacy into a footnote while they prop up their chosen ones. Court Chronicles faithful, share this video with every Hoops fan you know. Flood the comments with your outrage. Call out Stephen A. and his cronies on X, on Discord. Links are in the description. Demand the respect Jokic has earned with every triple-double, every clutch shot, every impossible pass. Subscribe to Court Chronicles and turn on notifications, because we're not done exposing the rot in this game. The fight for justice starts now. Until next time, keep the fire burning.